how you treat other people is how you treat yourself, and it needs to be said. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In today's video, we're going to go over and discuss why you should be nice to yourself and others, how to be nice to yourself and others, and to treat people how you want to be treated, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and certain things that you need to be aware of. So starting with the topic, starting with the first disclaimer, starting off with the introduction, how you treat other people is a reflection of how you treat yourself. If you think highly of yourself and you pour into yourself and you love yourself, you're going to give out that same energy in return. If you think less of yourself, you have insecurities, and you have fears, you're more than likely going to project and deflect. It comes down to us. So in order for us to be nice to ourselves and other people to treat us nicely, number one, you have to be honest. You have to be accountable. If you have insecurities, you have fears, okay, cool. Most people in life, if not all, have had one or more or multiple insecurities. That doesn't mean that we have to take that out onto people who did nothing to us, because when you do that, you sabotage yourself and self-destruct yourself, and you ruin opportunities from people and places and things that you're supposed to be taking notes from and learning from, like this video. If you like the energy, if you like the vibes, you feel inspired, you feel admirable, you want to do what I'm doing, take notes, give credit where it's due. You can't expect to be abundant and loving and supportive. You don't do those things for yourself. So number two, when you are treating people a certain type of way, you have to be able to have that energy for yourself. It's important that you spend time with yourself. It's important that you're self-reflecting. It's important that you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses. If you do have insecurities, put it in the comment section, putting in the notes, and figure out why you have these insecurities and what you can do. So therefore, you can come up with solutions so you don't take that out onto people and places and things who you want to be in your life. You don't have to be a hater. Being a hater is a choice. Yes, we all grow up and everyone is not informed, unfortunately, with the same reality and the same resources and the same finances and the same tools. But that doesn't make it acceptable to treat people of a type of way because you feel that way. That's like life isn't fair. For a lot of people, it's not. For some people, it is. We can't change the world or change the rules until we change ourselves. And not just that, once again, the people that you all are like envious of or feel some type of, they're living the life that you want. And you're the only person who's going to be disappointed. So it's really important that if you do have insecurities, you do have fears, if you do get triggered by other people, you need to figure out why. And if you need to know, watch the videos. I have over 400, 500 videos talking about insecurities and how to deal with them. So number three, when you treat yourself good, you can only be surrounded by good people and greatness. When you know who you are, you're going to surround yourself with people who know who they are too. Because when you know who you are, you're intentional. Until you realize what you want and who you want to be and where you want to be, you're constantly going to be distracted and around people and places and things who lower your vibration and get you out of your character. Speaking from experience, when my vibration wasn't all the way where it needed to be, it was simply because I was in environments around people and places and things that were not compatible with me. And sometimes you're going to have to be in environments that are not compatible with you in the beginning of your healing journey until you realize that you're meant to grow and evolve. And a lot of times those environments may happen to be like school or maybe work, because you didn't get to pick your classmates, you didn't get to pick your coworkers, and even family members sometimes. But that's a different topic within itself. We have to be accountable and responsible for how we treat ourselves and what we do. So therefore, we don't even engage with certain people, because nobody can come to you acting crazy or trying to humble you if you're already humbled and you know that what these people are saying or what they're doing is not true to who you are. The times where I've had to converse with certain people in a tone that I usually don't speak in was literally because these people were not for me. And I hold myself accountable. There have been times where I've talked to people and I didn't want to talk to the people in the tone that I did, but I did. And because I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to say that I've had moments where I've had to put my foot down. I'm just saying that I'm able to grow. I'm able to learn from it. It's nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed of. But what I've realized is that these people in these places and things where I've had to put my foot down and let them know it wasn't worth my time and my energy. Now, of course, you don't let people disrespect you. You don't let people play with you. So you pick and choose when to let your foot down, when to address certain things. But for me, I know just because of my character, I didn't have to put my foot down with these people once I realized that they were never for me. But because I did, I put my foot down and I never talked to these people ever again. Like, sometimes you may have to check people in a polite way. You let them know, like, especially if it's like in a professional setting or if you care about these people. The people that I checked, I didn't care about them. So I didn't care on how I exit. But I will recommend that you do want to exit gracefully. Some people are not going to exit gracefully and everyone's not like me. So don't assume everyone's going to do the same way. But I do believe in exiting gracefully. Sometimes you're not, because like I said, like it's just going to get to a point. And then like I said, you do some self-reflection. You improve yourself. Like, I'm not perfect, but I'm able to talk about my wrongs. And because I'm not insecure, that's never been an insecurity of mine, I make these videos. This doesn't mean that I don't have insecurities or I never had insecurities, because if you're new here, I talk about the one insecurity that I did have, because I only had one insecurity before, and how I handle it. But it's like, it's nothing wrong with having insecurities and fears and having to improve ourselves or having to be better. But as long as we're not taking that out onto people who did nothing to us. Because I had to realize I don't need to defend myself with people who love me and care about me. Like, the people I had to put my foot down and talk to them a certain type of way, they didn't respect themselves. Like I said, how they treated me was a reflection of themselves. And the people I dealt with was when I was younger. So when I wasn't as aware, or I didn't have the guidance, or I didn't have the resources, or I didn't have the tools, because we're going to make choices and we're not going to have everything figured out sometimes. That's just the reality of it. And it's okay. It's nothing to be embarrassed or to be ashamed or act like people don't go through things. Yes, I've had moments where I've definitely talked to people and let them know this is not it. It's not going to give what it's supposed to give. But that's only because I wasn't as aware as I am now. Now, at the age of 28, turning 29, you got it. You got it, dude. Comment down below if you know where that's from, or are you too young? You got it, dude. Like, why are we going back and forth? First of all, I'm not fighting nobody, a man or a woman. I've never been that way when it comes to people. Like, I'm not fighting people to, no. If you make up in your mind that you feel some type of way, you got to stand on it. But like, even having certain conversations with certain people, because it's draining. Like, once I realized that certain people were like draining and immature and annoying, I stopped. So like, how I was annoyed by these people and wanted to let them know how I thought they were annoying, I had to have been annoyed. That's why I say how we treat other people is a reflection of ourselves. So because I thought these people were annoying, I was annoyed. Does that make sense? So if somebody calls you names, it's because that's how they are. So if someone is mean to you, they are a mean person. This doesn't mean that mean people can't learn how to be nice, or like I said, people can't change and evolve. But if they're not coming with change actions, and they're not asking for forgiveness, and they're not showing you and improving themselves, you don't need to be going back and forth. You don't need to be allowing people to get you out your character, and they're not for you. Like, I've also dealt with more people in my life. Like I said, 98% of the time, I've always been a good person, and my energy speaks for itself. The 2% of the times where my energy wasn't the best was literally because, like I said, I had to learn certain things, and I had to realize certain people weren't for me, and that's it. I don't need to be fighting nobody. I'm not going back and forth with you. I don't need to be going off on you. I don't need to be sending text messages. Like, I don't need to be getting out of my character. Like, I don't even need to react or respond, because that's what they want. Like, and I've dealt with a lot of people. I've dealt with more people than I've treated people poorly in my life, to where they had these insecurities and projections and fears, and they thought they was going to take that out onto me. No. I've dealt with more people, like I said, and that's a flex to me. I would rather be the person who is not out here causing people hurt and harm intentionally and having to learn from a couple of mistakes than being known as treating people poorly. That's not a flex. It's never been cute. It's not attractive. It's not. I've dealt with more people trying to treat me poorly because they thought poorly of themselves. Like I said, when you're high vibrational, when you're confident, when you're really that girl, because it was never that girl. It's never been that guy. Like, it's always came from people who were insecure. And I knew that about them. I was able to pick that up about them. Rather, I picked it up as I got to know them or after a while. Because it's like, when you think highly of yourself, you don't feel the need to humble people. So like when people say mean and nasty and rude stuff to you, you got to realize what's wrong, what's in their heart posture. And even when people are provoking you, because people provoked me. But in order for them to even get a reaction or a response, I had to have reacted or responded a certain type of way. Like, I'm not justifying it, because it is malicious. It is messed up. Like, as people, I'm not saying that you don't defend yourself, but it's like, if you really look at it from a mature standpoint, like, no, I'm not saying I deserve to be provoked. No, I'm not saying you deserve to be provoked. But me personally, I don't regret anything that I've said and done to anybody, because I told the truth. And like I said, energy speaks for itself and time tells. But like, now looking at it, it's just like, okay, yeah. Had I would have known now what I've known like earlier in my life as a young lady versus a grown woman, I wouldn't have reacted or responded the way that I did. But now I know. And that's the same thing with you. Like, it's okay if you have insecurities. It's okay if you don't know certain things, but it's not healthy to continue to treat people that way, because they don't deserve it. And not just that, it comes with karma, as people like to say, or consequences. What you do to others, it is always going to come back to you. Whether it takes 20, 30, 40, 50 years, in this life, in the next life, in the afterlife, or even the life before. You reap what you sow. You planted a seed, you'll get a harvest. Whether it's sugar honey iced tea, or it's rainbows, bubblegums, and roses. Treat people how you want to be treated. Once you realize people are treating you poorly, remove yourself. Or sometimes, like I said, you could speak up for yourself, but once you speak up for yourself, and this is what I did, remove yourself. Don't go back and forth. Once you let somebody know that they got you effed up, or that you don't deserve to be talked to some type of way, because there is a time and place where you let people know if you need to, because everyone, like I said, is not me. Everyone's not going to always choose the high road. Everyone's not always going to be the big person. Everyone's not always going to be mature. Then you walk away. Like with me, I've only had to, like I said, have certain conversations with people one time. And after that one time, that was it. Because it's like, I've lost respect for you. Like, I didn't respect you. Like, I didn't disrespect you when I first met you, but now I don't have respect for you at all. And me personally, once I don't respect you, that's it. That's it. I will never, ever. Nope. It's just not going to work. So, in order for you to not regret the decisions that you make, or have to lay in beds permanently, just be mindful of how you treat yourself. Just be mindful of how you feel about yourself. And I'm telling you from experience. And if you say, well, people go out their way to hurt and harm you, you need to pay attention to where you're going. Because like recently, not too long ago, I was in a situation. And I didn't realize until after that, I wasn't meant to be there. That I realized in the moment when there were certain people and places like trying to do certain things, the only reason why that was even able to happen was because I wasn't meant to be there. Like, we'll start to get signs, warnings when it comes to being around certain people, places, and things. Like, do I feel safe? Do I feel heard? Am I able to be comfortable? And I realized at that time where I was, it wasn't even the fact that I didn't feel safe and heard and felt comfortable. It was just the simple fact that I knew that I am too much for this environment. And me being too much doesn't mean that I'm not enough. But if you have people that aren't anything, or they don't think highly of themselves, it's going to be an issue. So like I said, to avoid conflict and altercation, especially physically and verbally, treat yourself good. If you have insecurities, let me know what your insecurities are so we can come up with solutions. If not, watch the video already. I have 400, 500 plus videos talking about how to deal with insecurities, how to build your confidence up. Because at the end of the day, you're the only person who's going to feel some type of way. And ladies, I'm going to let y'all know right now, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Men, it's not a good look. They, she's, we's, it's not a good look. The people that I've had to go on with, like, it was never like females. Like, I've never had gotten into it badly like with females. A lot of them have been immature little boys who try to pursue me. But yeah, no, it's not a good look. It's not a good look, okay? Let me know your experience. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Let me see if I can show you this. It's 5:08 in the morning as I'm recording this, okay? I need to get ready to go about my day because I do have other things to do. So if you guys don't see me posting, that's why. I do have a life outside of YouTube, okay? But make sure you guys follow me on my Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all that social media. And yeah, when you guys follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, I will be going live for the rest of the month of December, talking about these things if I didn't address them already, and book your service in your session for the month of December. And yeah, okay? How you treat yourself is how other people treat you. So when people are rude and people are nasty, they are aware. Don't make excuses. You don't want people to treat you badly? Don't treat yourself badly, because then you'll know, you'll be able to recognize. And that's what I realized. The more and more I was aware of myself, the more and more I treated myself goodly, the more and more I was able to realize when people were nasty. So all the mean and nasty people, when you've done, and like I said, you know when you've done to people. You know what you said, you know what you did. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've never not said things to people. But honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The things that I've said to people was just me telling the truth. So now how I went about it, that's where I was in the wrong, and I've definitely worked on. But I said, I'm a type of person, I said what I said the first time. Like, people be like, oh, it's not what you say, it's how you said it. I don't care. It's both. It's not what you said, it's not how you said it, it's the fact that you said it. Don't let that go over your head. Okay? Don't deal with people who are rude and nasty. Like, if you know you're minding your business, if you know you're not out here hurting, harming people intentionally, like I said, it's one thing if you have insecurities and you let other people know, like, hey, I have some insecurities, I have some flaws. They're going to make a decision if they're going to be patient with you, if they want to work with you, or if, you know what, I can't deal with this, I don't want to deal with this. They don't have to. But it's like just being rude and nasty to people when they've done nothing to you. It's a choice, and you don't deserve that. Those people need to seek help. We all do. This is why we can all take notes and learn from each other. Learn how to be teachable. You only know what you know, okay? Love you, bye. You're loved. Until next time, peace.